Oh, hello there. Well, my little break is over. After finishing Crying Is Not Enough. Had to take a little break to just take care of some things, but now I'm back as we go into October. And October is, of course, a special month because it is the month of horror. We all love October. And for the past couple of years, I have done some horror games during the month. But this month is a special October because it does seem that this October marks the 10-year anniversary of my YouTube channel, which doesn't seem like 10 years, but it does say on that channel that I started at October 7th, 2008. That wasn't when I posted the first video, but it was later on in the same month. So hey, it's been 10 years. I guess that means that I should celebrate, which I guess we'll do like this. There we go. Celebration complete. So, for the 10th anniversary month, what are we going to do? Well, I figured that I should try to put together something, something kind of special. Maybe put together some heavy hitters, you might say, for what we're going to end up doing for this month. Because we finished the previous games that we were doing. Well, Nier is not quite finished. I do have part 70 to do, but I haven't really been able to work on that in the past few days. Had to take a little break from it. I have been making progress in that, and I actually have almost made it to the end, but I haven't quite made it there yet. But I do intend to finish part 70, and I do intend to post that when it is done. But October is not going to wait. October is here, and that means it is time for October's games. And as far as what those are going to be, well, first of all, I should mention what we're looking at right now is a little short interactive experience called The Graveyard. It was made by Tale of Tales, who aren't around anymore. They released this several years ago. It's about an old woman who goes to a graveyard and remembers times gone by, as we can see here. Remembers the years that have passed and the people that have gone. And I don't know why I just thought of that. Thinking about the 10-year anniversary, I don't know why I just suddenly thought about this little thing, about this old person going to a graveyard and thinking about death. No particular reason. But that's what we're looking at right here. Okay, but never mind that. Let's think about October and what games are going to be played. All right. Okay, so starting off with a fresh schedule, starting off with 2 new games that we're going to be playing throughout the month of October. I don't know if we'll be finished with both of them by the end of October. At least one of them we will be, but I'm not sure about the other. Okay, what are we doing? Well, since this is the 10-year anniversary, I was thinking that it might be appropriate to maybe revisit one of the games that I have played in the past, because there was some new content made available for that game that I never actually got to. I always kind of meant to, but just never really got around to it. So I figured, hey, for the 10-year anniversary, maybe something that could be appropriate would be to play through Deadly Premonition, the director's cut. So this, of course, is not new. This came out some years ago. I am late getting to this, like 5 years late. But this did have additional content from the original game that I have never seen. And, like I said, I just always kind of meant to, but just never did. So, considering that I'm thinking about times gone by, thinking about the past 10 years, maybe an appropriate way to celebrate 10 years of the channel is to revisit one of my favorite games of all time, and probably the most viewed LP I did was Deadly Premonition. So we're going to go to the director's cut. We're going to have a look at what that additional content was. We're going to think about this game and how it might have aged over the past few years, and just see what we think of it playing it now, these years down the road, because it's actually been 8 years since the original game came out. 5 years since the director's cut. So it's been a significant amount of time, but I'm looking forward to getting back to Deadly Premonition and just seeing how I feel about it now that games have advanced. And it's actually has been many years since I played the game, even though it is one of my favorite games. When I did play through the game for the initial LP, I really played it out. Like, I played a whole lot of it, many hours, just replaying parts of it, just to figure out what I wanted to do for the LP. So I just kind of got tired of it after that, which is probably the reason that I never actually got around to playing the director's cut. So for me, it'll be going back to a game that I have not actually have seen or played for years now. But I do have fond memories of it, just like this old woman has fond memories for the people that she has lost. Maybe not that fond. Maybe I don't have that fond of a memory of a video game, but I do remember it pretty fondly. So that's one game that we're going to play, and that's a revisit of a game that we have already seen, though there will be new content. The other game that I'm going to be playing is going to, well, like I said, it's been 10 years, so maybe a good way to celebrate the 10 years is by getting back down to the roots and doing the sort of thing that I used to do back at the beginning, and that is a traditional Let's Play of a horror game. So what horror game would I want to go with? Well, there is, of course, a series really, that if you're playing horror games, you're gonna get to this series at some point. At one point or another, it has to happen. So I figure probably a pretty good way to celebrate 10 years is by doing a Let's Play of a game that I've never gotten around to. So throughout the month of October, we will be playing Silent Hill. Yes, I've never actually Let's Played a Silent Hill game, and that's going to end now, as I'm going to play through my favorite of the series, Silent Hill 1. In a traditional Let's Play. Yes, Nintendo 64, I did hear you. So that's what the second game is going to be. So the two main games for this month, Deadly Premonition, the Director's Cut, and Silent Hill 1, which is one of my favorite horror games, but never actually have done a playthrough on it for the channel, so that will be changing now. So, those two games for October. And I hope that that will make for a pretty good 10-year anniversary month, or that they would if those were the only games that we're going to play. But oh no, here's the twist: those are not going to be the only games that we're going to play. They're going to be the lengthiest games, but there will be more games completed because October is the month of horror. We need more horror in our month of October. Now, as you know, my schedule is generally that throughout Sunday through Friday, I'm posting videos of the two main games I'm doing, and then on Saturday I do a one-time video. Well, there are 4 Saturdays in the month of October, and that means on each Saturday is going to be a one-time video in which I'm going to do a playthrough of a short horror game for each Saturday. And these horror games are going to be in the most frightening of all mediums, and that means virtual reality. That's right, 4 virtual reality horror games during the month of October. Oh boy, I hope you like the idea of someone wandering through a scary house, because you're getting that. You are getting so much house wandering this month. I'm going to go into a house, I'm going to look around and say, what's going on? Ghosts? Maybe. And that is going to be on Saturdays. So the games I'm going to be playing for those are going to be much shorter than a standard game, of course. Some of them very short. Others, well, so far the ones I've done have ranged from a half an hour to 2.5 hours. So they're going to be much shorter than your standard length game, and these will be one-time videos, and they will be obviously very frightening and very scary, because you cannot get scarier than wandering through an empty house in virtual reality. That's the law. You can't get any more frightening than that. You put on the VR headset and say, uh-oh, there's ghosts. And it's very scary. So I hope you enjoy the scares as we wander through empty haunted houses in virtual reality. I know I will be very frightened, so I hope you will be too. So that means an additional 4 games to the 2 main games we're playing. So that means 6 games will be completed throughout the month of October. Actually, Deadly Premonition, I don't know if we're going to finish in October. That might take longer. We'll see how that goes. Silent Hill, I'm pretty sure we will finish in October. So 6 games. So I hope that 6 horror games is a pretty good schedule. Deadly Premonition is a horror game, right? Technically it is. I hope 6 horror games is a pretty good schedule to celebrate not only October, but the 10-year anniversary of the channel. Or I would say that if those were the only games we will be playing, because it's not, they're not. No, because we're adding a 7th game to the schedule. That's right, 7 games will be completed. What is the 7th game? Well, something I was thinking about when thinking about, okay, stuff I've done in the past 10 years. What do I want to do? Well, I want to, let's say I want to revisit Deadly Premonition because that was the LP that people liked the most of the ones I've done. So let me revisit the director's cut and we can see what changed. Let me do Silent Hill because that's going to be an LP of a traditional horror game. I should say a traditional LP of basically the quintessential horror game, Silent Hill 1. So I'll do that. Then I will do wacky virtual reality horror fun on the Saturdays. So that sounds pretty good. But is there something missing? Is there something missing from this schedule that if I'm thinking about the sorts of videos and sorts of games that I could do to reflect my history with the YouTube channel? Because the virtual reality games kind of reflect, the sort of low-budget indie horror games that I've done plenty of in terms of games like XBLIG and such. Games like XBLIG. XBLIG wasn't a game. XBLIG was a service. But the VR games sort of represent sort of the low-budget indie stuff that I've played a lot of. But is there something else that needs representation during the 10-year anniversary? And of course, one other thing that I've done in the past 10 years is I used to stream quite a bit. So surely that stream needs to have some sort of representation during the 10-year anniversary. So what does that mean for October? Well, I was thinking, when should such a stream occur? Well, according to YouTube, I started the channel on October the 7th, 2008. So I looked at my calendar and I looked at what was happening on October the 7th, 2018. Well, that's a Sunday. And I was thinking, streaming could be good that day, but I do have work the next day. Oh, wait, hold on. The Monday, October the 8th, is actually a holiday. I don't have work that day. So as it turns out, the actual 10-year anniversary day of the channel, October the 7th on a Sunday, is going to be a good day for me to stream. So, how long is that stream going to be? I don't know. All I know is that it's going to start at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern. The reason that I don't know how long it's going to be is because it's going to start at 8 o'clock and it's going to end whenever we finish this game. What game is it? I was thinking, what could be an appropriate game for this 10-year anniversary? Something that takes itself very seriously, but is also very goofy. Something that would have a lot of choices to make, so there could be chat interaction, so we could vote on the choices like we used to do. Something that would be entertaining to watch, maybe something with full motion video with live actors. But what could fulfill all of those roles? What has all that? And then it came to me, and I found the game that we are going to do the 10th anniversary stream with, and that is on October the 7th, Sunday 2018, starting at 8 o'clock, we are going to begin a playthrough of Tender Loving Care, a full-motion video game on the PC from the 90s, and it is, I'm going to describe it as an erotic thriller. erotic is kind of in big quotes, thriller also in big quotes. But that is what we are going to play. It is an FMV game, which will involve making a lot of choices, many choices seeming nonsensical, and the chat will be able to vote on those choices, and we will be able to see how our own tender loving care experience works out. So, let me put the info on screen. There we go. TLC stream, October 7th, 2018, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern, twitch.tv/supergreatfriend, no D. And you might ask, well, is this horror? What does this really have to do with horror? Well, the horror, the scary stuff, where that's going to come from is whether or not I'm going to make it through that entire stream without my channel getting banned. Because, you know, there are two main reasons that could happen. There's a non-zero chance that could happen. One is that a mod comes in and says, you're just streaming a movie. And hey, I can't really, it's technically a game, but it's shot like a movie. So if that happens, then it might go down at that point if it's just thought that I am streaming a movie. The other part, a mod comes in during the hot, erotic scenes, because it does have them. It's got them. It's an erotic thriller, and I don't know how kindly mods will take to that. So, non-zero chance of the channel getting banned before TLC is done. And if that happens, I guess we will probably have to move to another streaming site that I have an account on. We'll see how it goes. I'm sure someone must have streamed Tender Loving Care on there before. Surely that's happened. And they haven't gotten banned? I think probably. Maybe? The game at least has a entry in their game database, I'm sure. It's gotta. It's a game you can buy on Steam. It's not like it is some it's not like it's some kind of thing that you have to buy from some I don't know where I'm going with that sentence. You can buy it on Steam. It's there. It's a legitimate game. But we'll see how that turns out. It seems like a train wreck. It kind of seems like an interactive movie disaster. So that is what we are going to be doing. We're going to be playing a disaster, and I hope that turns out well. I think that there's nothing really that could celebrate 10 years of the channel more than a full motion video disaster. So I hope you join me for that, October the 7th, 2018 on Twitch, as we attempt to play through Tender Loving Care. How long to beat has Tender Loving Care as taking 5 hours? I don't know if that's how long it'll take us. Maybe it'll take us longer because of all the, messing around and fun that we have on stream. Maybe it'll take longer. I don't know. But I know I don't have work the next day, so I guess we're just going to keep going at it until it's finally done. However long that's going to take. Maybe, I don't know, maybe this will end up being a bad idea. Could be. It seems like that could easily end up being a bad idea. Regardless, it's my idea, and it is what we will be doing. So, for the month of October, the 10th anniversary, we're playing Deadly Premonition, the Director's Cut. We are playing Silent Hill. We're going to play through 4 PlayStation virtual reality horror games, and on October the 7th, we're going to stream Tender Loving Care and hopefully get through that entire game without being banned. Here's hoping. We've been watching The Graveyard, a short interactive experience from Tale of Tales in which an old woman goes to a graveyard, sits down on a bench, the song plays, and then you can walk out of the graveyard. This was only the trial version. The full version is exactly the same, except there's a chance that the old woman might die. I'm not kidding. See, it says it right there. The full version might have death. You might die when you play the full version. That could happen. So that's The Graveyard. And that's been the October update. I hope everyone enjoys the October horror fun, which is going to be starting with, should be starting with Silent Hill, is what I believe we're starting with. So this is going to be the 10-year anniversary month. Hope everyone has a good time, and I hope you join me for the stream on the 7th. I'll see you then.